Good morning, good morning. We're just gonna wait for some people to get in here, as always. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, welcome in. Happy freaking Monday to you. I'm so glad you're here. Just trying to keep the vibes positive today. It is Monday today, although, hey, a lot's happened this weekend. Listen, if you like this track, make sure you check it out on Spotify or YouTube. YouTube Music, YouTube Studios, one of those. My buddy makes this music from the ground up. He wants you to use it for your live shows, your music video, or not music videos, obviously you have music for your music videos, but he wants you to use it for your live shows, he wants you to use it for your podcast, he wants you to use whatever you need background tracks for, he wants you to use it. So make sure you use it, you have permission to use it. It's FREE, free to use, copyright free, monetarily it's free, just use it. Okay, streamables on Spotify and YouTube Music, all right? Okay, good morning. Happy Monday. It is August 23, 8:56 in the morning. You couldn't tell, it was Monday. Trying to get situated here. Today is the first day of class for me, so my summer vacation's officially over. So I have statistics class today. It's my first time doing a math class in a decade, so, you know, hopefully I do okay. I probably won't. Okay. It's online, so I should be able to find all the answers. Okay. Look, I don't really know how to start today off. A lot has happened since the last show we did. Thursday was the last show we did. So it's Monday, so it's it's a little over 4 days. Or I guess this would be the 4th day. So we went 3 days without having a show. Lots happened all over the world, including Afghanistan. People are turning on Biden. Even his people that work for him and voted for him are turning on Biden. So I don't really know what to talk about. I'm trying to be positive. I try to keep Mondays or the beginning of the week something where I can like motivate you guys and just be like, hey, look, get ready to tackle the week. But I'm gonna be real with you. I'm a little distracted by a lot that's happening, especially when I heard some news last night about Pfizer uh, being officially FDA approved for people 16 years and older, 16 years old and older. Um, we'll get to that in a minute. I just want to say, I want to say thank you to anybody who watches the show, listens to the show. You listen on Spotify, Anchor, or Google Podcast. If you don't have an iPhone and you're one of those weirdos who only have a Droid, um, just kidding. Hey, we love you as much as anybody with an iPhone. We just pray for you. Okay, if you don't have an iPhone, like, hey, I appreciate you watching the show, but listen, DM me and tell me what's actually wrong with you. Okay, just we need to know. Like, are you okay? You know, like, if you listen, if you are still using Android, we all know it's for pride at this point, and we will care for you just the same if you go ahead and just tear down your pride and switch on over to Apple and get an iPhone. Everybody knows that that's what you need. You know that's what you need an iPhone. You need a Droid. I'm not even paid by Apple to say that. If Apple would like to pay me to say that, I will. I will accept the funds. But listen, the iPhone is better. So tear down your pride and switch on over. Okay, so listen, I understand that. Let me backtrack first. I just want to preface this by saying I put it as the title. I switched my title at the last second. I will speak the truth. I will always speak the truth as far as I know it on this show. I will never try to be the first to talk about something just to be the first to talk about something. I'm not a journalist. I don't care to be first. I'd rather be right. I'd rather express my feelings the way I want to express them. If somebody offers me money to say a certain thing about something, it better be what I believe, because I will not accept money, or I will not accept rewards or prizes in the form of even viewers to say something I don't believe. I lose viewers and, like, you know, status in the algorithm when I speak things that go against the mainstream media. That's just a fact. And if you don't think that's true, look it up. It's true. The algorithms understand what people actually want to hear, and then the algorithms also push out, you know, on Facebook and YouTube. There's an algorithm to for like people to, you know, what pops up on your feed is what Facebook, YouTube, and if you're on Instagram, Instagram thinks you want to see. Now, if I do things that are flagged for misinformation, which I won't purposely spread information, by the way, it's what Facebook says is misinformation. I have had posts on my personal account get taken, like, completely taken down because they said I spread misinformation, even though I've screenshotted actual news articles from their own mainstream news sources, and I repost what they say, and I get flagged, and I get, you know, essentially punished for spreading misinformation, even though it's their own news sources. But that's here or there. It's a messy world on the internet. I think the internet should be left alone. I don't think we need more regulation. I think the internet should be a place that is sort of still the wild, wild west. However, Facebook, Google, YouTube, Twitter, they have a heavy influence on what happens on the internet, because most of what people do on the internet right now is social media. You use the internet for other things, but we're not communicating via other third-party websites per se. We communicate primarily from social media, YouTube, you know, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, that sort of thing. So it's very easy for, you know, people like me, or the right-wing people go against mainstream media, or people who get canceled. It's very easy for people to get canceled very easy for people to get shadow banned because the main way we communicate is through these platforms. If you're watching right now, you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Two of those have algorithms, YouTube and Facebook. Twitch doesn't have an algorithm. You can just go and you just type in my show, JJ's Live Show on Twitch, and you find it. That's it. But if you were to go to YouTube, you type in JJ's Live Show, I might not come up at the top all the time. There was a while during the first week of the show where if you typed in JJ comma or JJ apostrophe S and then typed in that L, I would come up and I would be the top of the list. I haven't looked for myself in a while, but I would imagine that if you typed in JJ's Live Show in the search bar on YouTube, I wouldn't be on the top anymore. Why? Because I speak the truth, and literally, it just can't be handled, apparently. Sorry if I'm stumbling over my words. It's Monday. I don't write a script for the show. I don't. I sometimes write down bullet points. I wrote down this one single bullet point we're going to talk about the Pfizer vaccine. I thought I saw an article last night that showed Pfizer getting FDA approval for the vaccine, but then I saw an article confirming it today. So let's talk about it. Pfizer received FDA approval. Good thing, bad thing? I'm going to say in the long term, it's probably a bad thing. Here's why. They're already forcing people to get a vaccine that wasn't approved. And now they're going to they're for sure, when I say they, I'm talking about everybody. People who are in charge of stuff, they're just forcing people to get vaccines. Vaccines should be a personal choice. I don't know what happened to this whole pro-choice movement, but they seem to disappear when it comes to the vaccine. I think if I want to accept the risks of getting sick, I think I should be able to. And if you're worried about unvaccinated people contributing to variants, I've talked about how the vaccinated are contributing to variants, and I talked about that way before news came out. That was probably one of the first times in the show I was first to something, was talking about how the unvaccinated were actually contributing to variants. And then I came out with an episode, so go look at the episode. It's on Spotify. I show a video of a doctor explaining how improper vaccinations actually contribute to variants. But here's another reason why I'm skeptical about variants themselves. I'm not denying COVID exists, but I'm skeptical about variants. There's no time in the history of virology where a variant becomes more deadly. When a virus mutates, it actually becomes less deadly. Mike, coming in from Facebook, hello. Mike popped in a question. FDA approval for Pfizer, you think that it'll make more people get it? That's what I was just about to get to. You think it'll make more people get it? If you mean it'll ease people into getting the vaccine, I think the people who were gonna get the vaccine by choice have already gotten it. I'm not sure that the FDA approval this late, because they're already forcing people to get vaccines. I say they, I mean like government officials, bosses at jobs. And I was going to get to this point where the side effects of the vaccine don't go away because there's this FDA approval. The FDA has approved some wild stuff. Does anybody recall what happened with the Lyme disease vaccine? I'm gonna Google it real quick. Like I don't even know how to spell disease on my first try. Disease vaccine. I might not be able to Google it that quick. It's L-Y. I typed it in Lyme like the fruit. It's L-Y-M-E. Like I'm gonna explain what happened with the Lyme disease vaccine real quick, and then we'll move on. So what happened with the Lyme disease vaccine was the Lyme disease vaccine came out to prevent Lyme disease, and then when it turns out Lyme disease comes from ticks, particularly in humans. It basically long-term effects from Lyme disease is like at the very minimum you're gonna get like basically really bad irritable bowel syndrome, where you basically can't really eat red meats ever again, and some other broad things. But what happened was this Lyme disease vaccine came out, and primarily for people on the East Coast, because that's where the Lyme disease is mostly rampant. and it had all these really bad side effects, and people actually got Lyme disease. So I don't trust FDA approval for about anything, and FDA doesn't approve things that might actually work with other diseases as well, including osteoporosis and things like that. I think it was approved so that makes it easier to force the mandate. Yeah, you're right, Mike. Mike with the question that said, do you think it'll make more people get it with the FDA approval of the vaccine? And then Mike also said, I think it was approved so that it's easier to enforce a mandate. It is going to be, I don't know if it's going to be easier to enforce a mandate. It's going to be easier for them to justify the mandate, if that's what you mean. Look, I think that people who've already were going to choose to get the vaccine, this might sway 1% of people to get it. The vaccine, like 1% of the people who were going to get it by choice, not forced to get it. Okay. Here's my issue: is the side effects of the vaccine are still going to be side effects of the vaccine, whether it's FDA approval or not. We have seen negative side effects of the coronavirus vaccine. We have seen it. There's tons of stories out there. You probably don't be able to get to see them all because, like I was mentioning earlier, Facebook likes to stop quote-unquote misinformation. Twitter likes to censor quote-unquote misinformation, even if it's a personal testimony of somebody getting a vaccine, specifically the Pfizer vaccine, which caused people to have heart issues, and not old people either, but young, healthy people are having issues with. I think there's two different issues. I can't recall exactly what issues with the heart. One of them, I think, enlarges something with enlarging the heart, and the other one is something with like the wall of the heart. I think it's two separate issues. What I mean was Mike saying on the Facebook chat. What I meant was if that it wasn't FDA approved, there's a logical argument to not get it. Now that it's FDA approved, it weaks our argument to not have it mandated. Yeah, Mike, I get what you're saying. You're saying Mike is saying that before today there was a logical argument that you could spit out and say it's not FDA approved, I don't have to get it. But now it weakens the argument of people who are. I'm not anti-vax. I'm anti-coronavirus vaccine for myself. Now I don't really have a leg to stand on because the Pfizer vaccine is FDA approved now. However, I've explained this before. I'm an athlete, okay? I need to be able to perform at my peak performance at all times. The Pfizer and Moderna vaccine both have side effects that affects people's ability. It has joint pain, body pain. Some people get sick from it for like more than one day. And everybody says like the symptoms are mild. Okay, coronavirus symptoms are mild for most people. The risk and reward factor of this vaccine has gone way down. Here's why. Before, you could argue that, let's say if this was March, right now, March 2021, you could argue that the vaccine would give people's lives back. It stopped people from getting sick, and it prevented the spread of coronavirus. And now, we can start getting our lives back. Fast forward to August, almost September. It has been shown the coronavirus vaccine does not stop the spread of coronavirus. People still get sick from coronavirus. And there might be variants, quote unquote variants, that it might not stop. Listen, in reality, the variants should be less deadly. If it's not, that means one of two things. One, probably means it was made in the lab. Two, they're just not being truthful about they're not being truthful about the variants. Mike asks, what if the VA said and you had to have it to receive a disability? I don't think that would happen. I would fight it, probably. I don't know how I would fight it, but I would. I don't really know. That's because they're talking about making all the VA staff and patients get the vaccine to be on site. I don't really go to the VA that often. I don't think that's like another gray area where they're going to start taking away rights, because I have VA benefits for disability as well as VA benefits for school, for education, right, at the GI Bill. So if they start stripping away, this would be sign of a totalitarian government, is if they start stripping away rights from guaranteed to people because of service, because I'm not going to get a jab in the arm of a vaccine that doesn't work. The vaccine does not work. But John, look, if you take the jab, you'll get less sick when you get sick. How about you just have a healthy body? I'm around tons of people all the time. I think I might have gotten the coronavirus like last year. If I didn't, I'd be surprised. I get tested very regularly. I get tested 3 times a week. I've done PCR tests, also negative. Look, if I get coronavirus, I'm going to get it and I'm going to get over it. If I die from coronavirus, get the vaccine. Mike, Facebook chat. Also, all healthcare facilities are making it mandatory, even for construction staff. I have to have the vaccine to work in the hospital now, even though I'm working in construction zone. Mike, that is retarded. Get a fake vaccine card. Look, the risk of the vaccine right now at this moment, based on data, based on science, is worse than getting corona. That's facts. Look, if you get the coronavirus vaccine, you can still contribute to spreading it. You can still get sick. Okay? And you still have to suffer from the side effects of getting the vaccine. Mike, you're vaccinated? Well, tell us about your experience, Mike. If you would like to. You don't have to, obviously. You don't have to, but I think people need to see personal testimonies. I have talked about people's positive testimonies and negative testimonies. For me, the risk, me going out of my way to get a needle in the arm that's for sure going to give me symptoms, is a way dumber idea than just risking it not getting corona. Okay? I exercise. I'm in the second least, the likelihood of me in my age group dying from coronavirus is like literally 0.05% or something stupid low. You've also got a pre-existing condition. So my doctor said the risk of the vaccine was less than the risk of getting COVID. Okay, see, boom. And this is what I'm getting at. That was your choice to do that. You consoled with your doctor, and your doctor said to get the vaccine. I promise you, not every doctor is telling people to get the vaccine. I promise you that. If I went to an unbiased doctor who actually understood the science of this and actually does his own medical practicing, when I say his own medical practicing, I'm talking about where he doesn't just like see a patient, they have pain, prescribes pills, and moves on. I'm talking where they actually try to heal people and they actually practice medicine. I guarantee you a doctor would tell me not to get the vaccine. You've had no complications yet. Both shots were on the same side effect free besides a sore arm. See? Have you ever had complications with vaccines before? Here, let me explain to y'all my experience with vaccines. I think people need to. Okay, look. Let me explain my experience with vaccines. Not everybody's gonna have the same experience because why? You're not all in the military. Statistically, the people who did my job in the military, or people who went into the Marine Corps, is 0.01% of all the population. So the likelihood of you watching the show and you're in the Marine Corps, probably higher than most podcasts because you probably got this show because it's suggested to you because I'm a veteran. See, Mike, you've never had issues with vaccines before, okay? But I have. Let me tell you why. I've gotten jabbed by so many vaccines being in the military that it's literally, I don't know how many. Legitimately, I legit do not know how many, but I can tell you a few that absolutely felt like I was going to die. One, not literally going to die, but pretty painful. One is a very famous one that everybody talks about in boot camp. You get 2 of them in boot camp, and I think like 1 when you get out of boot camp. The peanut butter shot. What exactly is in the peanut butter shot? I'm not exactly sure. I'm pretty sure it's penicillin and some other things. But you get like 3 of them. You get 2 of them in boot camp and like 1 of them when you get out. This is one of the most painful and uncomfortable vaccines you will ever get. I'm about to Google peanut butter shot. Peanut butter shot. 5 things you probably didn't know. Peanut butter shot. I just Googled it. The needle of this thing is so huge, and they put it in your butt cheek. Okay. And we call it the peanut butter shot because of what it I think of what it feels like. The peanut butter shot goes in your butt. That's not the peanut butter shot. Look, I'm about to show you some pictures, okay? And this is why they call it the peanut butter shot. If you get queasy with needles, don't look at the screen. Just listen. This is literally what it looks like. How big the needle is. And they have something to show for reference, and you can see the liquid that they put in. Okay, I'm about to show the screen. If you get queasy from needles, don't look. Okay, boom. This is it right here. This is what I remember. It looks pretty similar to this. Okay, it's a pretty small. Can I zoom in? I want to let me zoom in. I wish I had that touchscreen right now. Anyways, so big freaking needle, and the liquid that is in it is super thick. Okay? The liquid that's in it is super thick. When they inject it into your butt, it literally feels like legitimately like peanut butter is getting injected into you. It's so thick. They tell you to try to relax your butt because dudes will flex and it makes it worse. But I will tell you something, nothing makes it better. It literally, you can feel it like go into your butt cheek, and it literally feels like a damn alien is in there grabbing your butt cheek, and it's just immense pain. What happens the next day is even worse. You wake up and you feel like there's a damn softball stuck underneath, like somebody cut open your butt cheek, slid a softball underneath there, and sewed it back. Yeah, it's penicillin, but I've also heard that there's other things besides just penicillin in this shot. Because the amount that they give us is not like a little amount. Like, it's a fat amount. Like, it's not like they go in there, you know, you get like a normal vaccine, they stick that little needle in your arm, and it's like, and it's over. No, this takes a second. It's not quick. It's like slow, okay? It's not like those other little vaccines you get in your arm, it's like beep, and it's done. No, okay? And then there's a bunch of other shots that you get, okay? I don't even know which all of them are. I know anthrax is one of them. I know that if you have never gotten chickenpox, they give you a chickenpox vaccine. I'm trying to find a picture. They don't allow in Marine Corps boot camp specifically. It's called Bacillion. You're supposed to get it before deploying too. I didn't get it before deploying. I got a bunch of other stuff before deploying. I got a smallpox vaccine before deploying. So a smallpox vaccine, let's talk about it. If you look at my arm, there's gonna be a little like scar on my arm. Okay. Mine's particularly small compared to other people, but other people's have different reactions. So the smallpox vaccine isn't like a normal vaccine. The smallpox vaccine, it's like a little spork, okay? And it's like kind of a big deal when they do this. Once we get the vaccine, we're literally considered biohazard. We're not allowed to go home to a family. You have to be literally quarantined on base. You can't like touch babies. You can't you're not supposed to go out in town and like touch people because like you legit are biohazard. Like when they gave us our smallpox vaccines, it was when we were going to a training event that we weren't going to be around civilians anyways, so they gave it to us then, for like a couple, like where we were literally, you know, already going to be basically quarantined for a few weeks around like away from civilians. So the smallpox vaccine is literally like a spork that they dip into the whatever, like I don't know, it's like a little like. It's not the same as like a shot. They like literally have this like spork and they dip it into the vaccine, I guess, and they literally stab your arm a bunch of times on the surface level and get you to bleed and like make you bleed. And then what happens is over the course of a few weeks you will have like this series of it like bubbling up, or it looks like a big boil, and then it'll pop, and then it'll like boil up again, and then it'll pop, and that's literally the smallpox like vaccine doing its thing. It has like live virus in it. Yeah, Mike has live virus in it. Okay, and then there's other vaccines such as anthrax. I think the anthrax one is what gets me, but in boot camp, you go get vaccines like 2 or 3 times, but like both times, like it's like a lot of shots that you get. Both times I got vaccines, I'm pretty sure it's the anthrax one because it's the one I've heard the most stories about. I legitimately felt so sick. I was feverish. I was literally sweating for days. Um, it could be because I got all the vaccines at once, but I'm pretty sure it's anthrax because then when I was in the fleet and I went in just to get my anthrax booster shots or anthrax. So the anthrax shots is the way it was explained to me, it's not just one shot. You have to get a series of it. And it's like not a booster because a booster is like it's a certain thing. It's actually like a series of like 5 or 6 that you're supposed to get at exact times. Like in a series. And I think they're like slightly different in each shot. I'm not exactly sure. Because I've gotten so many vaccines, I've lost track. But the anthrax vaccine, every time I got it, made my arms super sore, but then I would literally feel like absolute baloney for at least 24 to 48 hours. I couldn't imagine trying to perform a sport in that condition. I was literally barely getting by. If I wasn't in boot camp, I would be like laying in bed when I was originally getting sick from this vaccine. And that the pain from that peanut butter shot lasted, for me on the second time, it lasted way longer than like a normal person. It lasted like well over 2 weeks, and turns out the person who gave us the shot like didn't do it right. So there's a lot of factors. Yeah, Africa requires a whole bunch of vaccines. They also require, so when I was deployed both times, at one point or another, I had to be on medicine that was like a prophylactic that like treats for malaria, doxycycline. And doxycycline, they told me you're allergic to penicillin. Bro, but if I really needed penicillin for something, I want to be able to get penicillin. So the thing is with the medicine they give you, it didn't make me feel sick, and this is every single person that takes this has the same experience. It made me feel kind of cloudy, like not really like myself. Probably yellow. Oh, typhoid. Yep, did get typhoid shots for sure. Yellow fever. I'm not sure, but for sure typhoid. Yep, Mike. What are you googling? Vaccines you get in the military? Typhoid, yellow fever, but doxycycline, and I think there was another medication that we were on at one point. Because like when you're in the jungle and like you're going through a bunch of stuff and like your immune system is probably compromised, they don't want you to get malaria. And I think it treats other stuff too. It's either like doxycycline and something else, I think. I'm pretty sure it might be just, we called it doxy. They give it to you in like a bag, and they're like, all right, everybody take out your pill, take your pill. I stopped taking it because literally it made everybody get like these weird lucid dreams. And it also, it made me feel like I was very aware that I was like off. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like feel sick necessarily. But I definitely felt like off. And that was just from pills. And sometimes they would make us take it to where we had to take one like a small amount every day, and then sometimes I had to take like a big amount every week. So that's why I'm not really sure if it was 2 different medications or not. Mike said no, but I've got several people in the military as well as Navy, Coast Guard, Army, and Air Force. Or sorry, several Marine. I think. Oh, you said I misread that. Sorry. There's a light right in my face. It's actually hard for me to see. No, but I've got several Marines in my immediate family as well as Navy, Coast Guard, Army, and Air Force, and they've all had big smallpox scares. Laughing face emoji. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. It's definitely a thing. But that's just vaccines they've been given to military people for decades that have been studied a lot and they've deemed safe. I wouldn't say that they're all that safe. I mean, safe compared to scars. Yeah, my smallpox scars is small. Well, smallpox scares is a real thing. It's like smallpox scares is a real thing when you aren't sure. Like there's dudes that literally would get it if they didn't get it for whatever reason when we were all getting it. They had to get the smallpox vaccine, and if they lived with their spouses like at home, they would literally just have to stay in a barracks room for like a certain number of days because they didn't want them sharing a bed. I think you can be around someone, you just can't come in physical contact and like touch stuff if they've touched stuff. And it's not the whole time either. It's like when it bubbles up and pops, I think. I can't really remember. That was 20. When did I get my smallpox? Like 2015 or 2016. So that's like 6 years ago. Sorry, I can't read. I'm a dumb grunt who plays football. Taking a math class today. I think I'm done with all my English credits. I think. I'm this semester I'm taking. Look, you guys want to hear my classes for this fall? I'm taking like some sort of humanities class, history of Vietnam, statistics, intro to statistics, and oh shoot, I forgot what other class I'm taking. Let me look at my phone. Forgot. I just looked at them all. Oh, international economics. So it's my last semester and I get my AA or whatever you call it, the first degree you get. And then I got to figure out, I've either got to ball out this fall when football starts to transfer schools, or I got to stay another year here before I get some offers. So I still have all of my years of eligibility for football left because I get a year back, COVID. So this will be my first season. For football, I'm a freshman, even though I'm 25 years old. Pretty fun. I'm not the oldest one on the team, though. Can anybody... Look, okay, here's the deal. I like doing this with you guys. Okay, we're going to wrap it up right now. I got to get ready for my first day of school. I like doing this with you guys. But if you guys have topics you guys want to talk about, because this is like an open kind of forum type discussion, you know what I mean? Obviously, Mike chimed in and Mike guided the conversation today. And none of it's planned. Or some of it's like planned, like last minute planned, as in like I saw a news article this morning and I decided to talk about it. But if you guys want to talk about something specific or you guys want general topics brought up, you can feel free to DM me. And not when we're live. You can just DM me at JJ Live Show on Facebook, or comment in the YouTube video below this, or on Twitch comment. I'll see all your comments and I'll see all your DMs. Okay. If it takes me a minute to get back to you in the DMs, I apologize, but all the way Facebook sorts the DMs is they put all of it into your inbox, and I just have to like figure out which one's to my personal or to my gaming one or to this one. So I'll get back to you. I'll read it, and we'll talk about it. And then also, if you guys want an idea of what type of guest, or you have someone you think I should have on as a guest, we haven't had our first guest yet, and I want the first guest to be someone that not only I can promote, but they can also promote this show, because the whole point of having guests. And I really appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you guys like, follow, subscribe, comment. We got to tickle the algorithms. We got to fight against the shadow ban. Okay. If you guys are listening right now, that means you guys missed it, the live show. If you're watching, you can see my face. You're either watching like while we're live, or you're watching on YouTube. I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you comment, tell me what you think of the video. Make sure you tell your friends, make sure you share. The show gets uploaded to Spotify as well as other podcast platforms after the fact, uncut, unedited. So make sure you follow on Spotify as well. All right, guys, it's a good Monday. We're about 35 minutes in, 40 minutes in. Appreciate you guys for coming by. Okay? Listen, I know what you're thinking. You're like, John, where can I listen and where can I find these tracks you use for your show, because they're absolutely bangers? Listen, I'll tell you where you can get it. Streamables, Spotify. Go find them. Use them. for your live shows, for your podcast, for your video game stream, whatever kind of stream you do. If you need music that's copyright free because you don't want to pay for it, go to Streamables, Spotify, use them. He is working on getting onto the YouTube studio, so if you make videos on YouTube, you can use them there. But hey, for now, if you want to use them for your live shows, go ahead and type in Streamables on Spotify. He's got like 5 albums out. He's always working on new albums. But he wants you to use them. You have permission to use them. They're free. Free, free to use. Copyright free, DMCA free, DMHA free, whatever letters you want in front of the word free, that's this, okay? All right, guys, thanks for stopping by. Until next time, catch y'all on the flippity flip. Deuce, hook 'em.